gosh, is this even the case I was reading? Case was I even reading? I was reading Lee versus State. I wasn't even reading this case. God,
all right. We are live.
You're an idiot, John. All right, I got my case back up. One of the cases that I'm reading for my research.
We're live. We're live. So
it's Robert. It's Robert E. Lee versus State of Indiana. So I'm sure that this man's parents had some very worthy things to say about race,
states' rights,
country.
About states' rights.
Yes. Yes. Talk about states' rights, brother. Anyways, yes. I'll put that away for now. Anyways,
okay. Hold on. All right. Yeah. Tweet that out.
Is this? Oh, I need to save this for next time. Okay. I remember this case.
Okay, all right, let's tweet it out. Record on this computer. All right. Oh. All right, ready to go?
Yes.
All right. And welcome to Dropping the Hammer with Daniel McFadden. I'm Daniel McFadden, NASCAR writer for frontstretch.com and speedsport.com. Ready to talk some NASCAR at Talladega and a whole lot more. And with me, as always, is my good friend, John Laughlin. I'm pretty sure I butchered it. Did I butcher it again? I think I butchered it.
You butcher it every week, but that's okay.
There's the title of the episode. You butcher it every week.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. Just like the safety of the next gen car, your ability to pronounce my name is highly suspect. Highly suspect. No, it's fine. I'm used to people mispronouncing it. It'll just happen the rest of my life. It's fine. It's La Follette. Rhymes with wallet.
La Follette.
Okay.
All right.
I've been called way worse things. You could just call me. You can call me asshole, and I'll answer to that too. So.
Family show, John. We try to make it a family atmosphere.
You're
the wild card. You are the wild card of this show.
I am. Well, I mean, there's only two of us, so one of us has to be. It's not going to be you, the host of your own podcast.
Anyway, we're recording on Tuesday, October 4th, 2 days after the NASCAR Cup Series playoff race at Talladega Superspeedway, and we do record this with a little bit of breaking news. Alex Bowman tweeted out at 5:15 p.m. Central Time that with my health continuing to be my number one priority, I will not return to racing this weekend at the NASCAR Cup Series race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm continuing to make strides in my recovery to make sure I can return to competition at 100%. He also said that Noah Gragson will once again be in the number 48 Chevrolet this weekend after he subbed for Bowman at Talladega. And earlier today, Cody Ware of Rick Ware Racing also announced that he wouldn't be in the race as he continues to recover from his left ankle foot injury that he suffered at Texas Motor Speedway. JJ Yeley will be in that car. So that is 3 full-time NASCAR Cup Series drivers, including Kurt Busch, who will not be in the race at the Charlotte Roval this weekend. 2 for concussion, 1 for a left foot ankle injury that he was recovering from. But he was at Talladega. Cody Ware was at Talladega. He raced in that, but because of all the work that you do at a road course race with the brake pedals and all that stuff, he thought it would be best to avoid it.
You sent me the video of Bob Pockers interviewing Cody Ware at Talladega, and he's visibly on crutches, and he's like, yeah I'm fine. I'm fine. I can race. Like, sir, are you fine? Can you stand on your own power without being in excruciating pain?
Well, Carson Hocevar, he did it earlier this year after he was injured.
That's true.
In a race. And was he injured? He wasn't injured at Sonoma. He was injured before that. I forgot what race. Oh,
well, it was WeatherTech where he got like sideswiped. He was out
yeah,
for a couple races, wasn't
Gateway, yeah. Gateway.
He broke his leg.
Yeah, something like that. And then then he's on crutches the next week. Goes out, gets the pole at Sonoma, and then wrecks. Okay, but anyway, three NASCAR Cup Series drivers are out with injuries this weekend. I don't think I've ever remembered that ever happening before. And at some point this week, NASCAR is holding a crash test somewhere in Ohio to test a new configuration of the rear clip of the next gen car. So hopefully something that won't hurt when you back up into a wall with an innocuous wreck. But as everyone has been saying, any real changes won't come until next year.
Right.
So we got what we got, and what we got has resulted in 3 full-time drivers out for a playoff race Sunday.
Yeah, and 2 of them are playoff drivers.
Yeah.
And it really stinks to see the playoffs affected like this. And if you're NASCAR, you don't want this. Like this is the outside of the Daytona 500, this is the showcase of your sport, and you've got 2 guys who aren't in it because of hits. One of whom, like you said, being Alex Bowman, when you just watch it, it seems pretty innocuous.
Yep.
It seems pretty innocuous, but yet he's saying it's the hardest hit he's ever had of his career.
Yeah, I made a mistake on last week's episode saying it was Kansas, but it had been Texas. It was Texas where he said that. So no, he's out. I'm so conflicted about the whole conversation about the safety of next gen car. Because like I said, there's 3 drivers out. That's a big deal. But a lot of people are saying, oh, this reminds me of 2001 when you had all the accidents that killed drivers, including Dale Earnhardt, before anything happened. I'm like, well, first off, that was 4 drivers who died. No one's dying right now. They're getting concussions, which are bad, terrible, could be horrible for your long-term health. But no one has died yet. So I don't feel like it's a sky is falling moment, but it is serious. So I don't know. How do you think, John, that what should be the tenure around this whole conversation?
And Denny Hamlin again this week used some pretty strong language.
He said the car needs to be completely redesigned.
Yeah, and not only that, but he said that drivers from the get-go were expressing concerns, and NASCAR just was putting dollars over the welfare of its drivers. And again, I know that got him a meeting with the higher ups at NASCAR to have a discussion. Perhaps that's why Denny used such strong language. Hopefully to get a meeting, or at least to force NASCAR's hand there. But on the one hand, I get why the NASCAR moved to a composite body, because you want to allow for some more bumping, some more aggressive driving. Where the previous car, if there was a tiny little ding on the tire well, you've got a cut tire, and then a driver's done for the day over a hit that pretty much didn't seem like it should be a hit that should render a driver's day done. But at the same time, there has to be some give on the car. The energy has to dissipate somewhere, and it's not dissipating anywhere. It's going into the cockpit. It's going into where that driver's sitting. And like I said, if you just watch Kurt Busch's hit, it's a hard hit, but like with the last generation car, the back end would have crumpled a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And Kurt Busch probably doesn't have a concussion. Not to say that concussions weren't a thing with the previous generation car, because look at Dale Earnhart Jr., right? So that's always going to, it's like football, where that's always going to be inherent given the nature of the sport, right?
Yeah. Safety is a moving target. You're never going to make it 100% safe. You can make it safer.
Yes.
But concussions, you're just never going to eradicate that threat.
But doesn't it feel like there's been like a back step here in terms of safety, just based on what the drivers are saying and based on the injuries that we're seeing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, we have never had 3 drivers miss one race because of injuries before. So, no, yeah. But it's just...
And to be fair, maybe in the past we would have, if there wasn't quite the social awareness about what concussions do to us long term now. I mean, props to Kurt and Alex for being cognizant of that and making the decision that they feel is right for their long-term health as opposed to just 1 year in the playoffs. And then obviously Cody Ware, I would have liked to have not seen him race at Talladega, but it's given everything that could have gone wrong at that track. I thought that we can get to that here in a second. But I thought that Talladega race overall was pretty tame. But
it was. I mean, yeah, there was only one large wreck. I don't know. Hold on, how many cars was it?
Was that the one that involved Harrison Burton?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It was like 7, 8 cars.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cars. Okay. So this begs the question: what actually defines the big one? Like, when can we call a wreck the big one?
I don't know.
Is once you reach 10? That's the big one?
I mean, yeah, double digits. That could be a good rule. Also, I don't know. The big one also to me also sort of implies like a critical stage in the race. And like that was still the first stage, was it not?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So like there's still plenty of racing left to do. Also, like if it takes out like I know it's super speedway racing and anybody theoretically can win one of those races because the nature of that sort of racing. But like if it takes out like 10 cars, but most of them are back markers, are we going to call that the big one? Like say there's a 10-car pileup, but like all 12 cars that are still in the playoffs are still fine and they can go on. Are we going to call that the big one?
Well, yeah, you had Harrison Burton, you had Austin Cindric, you had Joey Logano. So 2 of those 3 are playoff drivers. You had Ty Gibbs, Justin Haley, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Noah Gragson, and Justin Allgaier. So you had a wreck with three replacement drivers. Noah Gragson in the 48.
Ty Gibbs was in it as well.
Yeah, Ty Gibbs in 23. Yeah, and Justin Allgaier, who was taking over for Gragson because Gragson went at the 48 instead of 62. So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, other than that, there really wasn't much action on the track in terms of cautions, which is good. I'm glad this was by and large a clean race. Like I said last time, I just wanted a clean race to talk about. I wanted to talk about what happened on the track, not drivers in the hospital. Although the Truck Series race had that scary incident.
Gosh, yeah.
But by and large, I thought it was a pretty clean race. It seemed like the drivers were behaving themselves. It seemed like there was this understanding among the drivers of like, hey, let's get through this. Let's get one good race under our belt, get to the Roval, put some of this stuff behind us, and let's not drive like a bunch of jackasses.
Yeah. Well, even the day before that, the Xfinity race was pretty tame, very fun to watch, had a great finish, and no one wrecked. I was like, all right, if they can do it, the Cup guys can do it.
Right. And I was glad to see it. Like, look, we had a same deal here with the Cup guys. It was a close, competitive, pretty exciting finish that didn't result in, I mean, wasn't it the spring race where like someone came in 4th place going backwards because Eric Jones mistimed something in the tri-oval and it all led up to the finish line and there was a big accident as Ross Chastain won?
There was a big wreck coming to the
finish line. Didn't Almirola come in 4th going like backwards?
Maybe.
Or something like that?
I don't know.
I mean, like we didn't have that this time. Like everyone was going forward at start finish line. So
Bubba Wallace was in that wreck and it was a hard hit for him and he said, I don't think I could take any more of those or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So
no, he was visibly shaking when he got out of the car. Like he had he was like hands on his knees, like get the wind knocked out of him. Yeah, I remember that.
So, yeah, none of that. It was like what I found interesting was like neither lane when the cars would get to 2 lines, no one had an advantage. Mm-hmm. It was just like this seesaw back and forth, and like it was just that was just nice to see. It was just nice to see. They never really. I think there was a brief time where they almost got completely single file, but there was like a few outliers down at the bottom towards the back. So, there was a nice give and take between both lanes. And then when they did try to go 3 wide, that's when the Harrison Burton incident happened. But also, I think that's another reason why we didn't see another big one, because if we would have saw 3 wide racing, then by all means, I think we would have gotten a pretty serious accident. But I think the fact that these cars necessarily couldn't do that 3-lane
that 3 wide racing. It was just back and forth, sort of, like a what's the roller coaster ride? The Sidewinder?
I don't know.
There's like some roller coaster where it's like, or is it the Dragster, where it's literally like competing like tracks where they have 2 separate cars going at the same time along separate tracks. Anyways, that's kind of what it felt like, but it had this, it gave the race like a really nice rhythm to it.
Yeah.
And
then we didn't get a second big one, but we did get a very weird caution to set up the end when Daniel Hamrick's car. Apparently, I don't know if he was pitting, but he was on pit road and his car just stalled in the final pit box. And then there was like a fire in the grass in turn 3 that was never explained. Like, I don't know how that happened. It was never addressed afterwards.
Some guy in an RV shooting Roman candles off the roof or something.
Chase Elliott! Yeah!
He's got his Hooters hat on. You know what? Good for this fictitious character we just came up with.
We're gonna call him Billy Joel.
Billy Joel Elliott. What if wasn't there a crew member? Was it the Xfinity race that got his hard card taken away?
Truck race.
Yeah, the truck race.
On Haley Deegan's truck.
Like, yeah, he went out into the grass to get a tire during green flag situations, like even yellow. That's still not okay. Like, what did we find out more information? He has
hard car pulled and escorted from the track. So I was like, that seemed excessive to me. But multiple people told me that's standard operating procedure. Really? I've never seen it happen. How is that standard if it's never happened?
But like, I'm sure it's somewhere in the rule. But at the same time, like, how, like. Who did he just go under his own gumption? Did he get did someone on the team tell him to do it and he just did it?
Like, I don't know.
Like, where I want to know more. Like, how does that happen? It seems obvious that should not happen. Like, how did that happen?
They had it. Yeah.
And then on Haley, so like, what was Haley Deegan just down a crew member? Did they suit someone else up and put them over the wall the rest of the race? I'm
sure they had someone else to help. But no, yeah,
it was just so bizarre. I don't know. Give me a 30 for 30 on that guy. Like a 30 for 30 short on the guy that went over.
I want a 30 for 30. I want a 30 for 30 on the not the bass fishing, but the fishing competition controversy over the weekend.
Oh yeah. The guy that he put a bunch of weights in his fish.
Yeah. And apparently they've been probably doing this for a while.
I'm surprised that like he didn't get his ass beat then and there. I'm surprised nobody started throwing hands. Probably because that would be assault and it was on video, so they'd go to jail. But at the same time,
but give me a 30 for 30 on that. But no, Chase Elliott won with the last lap pass of Ryan Blaney. I think he had restarted third on that final restart, and going in turn 1 and 2 on the last lap, just popped up to the outside in front of Eric Jones and chugged his way to the checkered flag for his series leading 5th win of the year, his second at Talladega of his career. And after, I want to say, scares because Southern 500, did he? Yeah. I think he had an engine. No, did he wreck at Darlington?
I think he wrecked. Yeah, he wrecked. But then also at Bristol, he had bad luck there too. You open up the playoffs. Like this whole playoffs really hasn't really had a good day.
Yeah. And then at Kansas, Texas, he wrecked.
Yes.
After losing a tire. So yeah, not a great start to his playoffs, but hey, he won at Talladega, so he doesn't have to worry about the Roval. But dude, Ryan Blaney, he is going to, he deserves a win at this point. But like to all the people out there who say consistency doesn't matter under this format, Ryan Blaney's about to prove you wrong. Like winless through 32 races, 31 races. He's second, I believe, right now on the playoff grid.
Correct. He's plus 32.
So barring something just horrible happening to him Sunday at the Roval, he's good. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And that's just like, That's impressive. That's really impressive what he's managed to do going into a playoffs as the only driver without a win. Like, and now he's like, hey, just don't want to have a bad day. Don't want to have a bad day at the Roval. So yeah, go Ryan Blaney. Go you. Michael McDowell finished third. That's his 12th top 10 of the season. He had 12 top 10s total over the previous 4 years. So and
has it been confirmed that he's going back next season? I mean, I would imagine he is, but
I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just know.
I don't know where he's gonna go.
I just know that he says that he has, every year it's just a 1-year deal for him. But like, if you're Front Row Motorsports, like, why would you let him go?
No. Yeah,
he's had a career year. I mean, he's certainly silenced a lot of some of the critics he had from winning. Yeah, he won the Daytona 500 last year, but then kind of sort of fizzled after that. But this year he's been really, really strong. And honestly, we talked about his season a couple episodes back, where like if he's not in the top 10, he's finishing like below 20th. And if he just had a bit more consistency, maybe he would have.
He finished 11th at Darling, right?
Something like that. Yeah. But like outside of like the chaos that is this year, where almost everyone gets a win in an otherwise normal season, maybe he makes the playoffs. Maybe.
Well, he's tied with top 10s with Denny Hamlin, Daniel Suarez, Eric Jones. So like that, I mean, that's both indicative of how his season is going, but also indicative of the kind of year Denny Hamlin has had, that where he only has 12 top 10s. So, but yeah, and we're going to the Roval, where the only road course race this year that McDowell hasn't finished in the top 10 at was Coda. So, and he's been qualifying good at the road courses too. And then you got Ross Chastain. He finished 4th at Talladega. He's good on the road courses. And then you have Denny Hamlin. He finished 5th. Toyota is in general haven't been great on road courses this year.
No.
So, but again, he's just one of those guys. He said after the race Sunday, like, I just want to go have a clean race and don't blow up. So because Hamlin is
plus 21.
Plus 21. And Alex Bowman, unfortunately, he's 12th on the grid, but he won't be able to advance. You got Christopher Bell minus 33. William Byron minus 11, but his penalty hearing for his incident with Hamlin at Texas, that's Thursday, so that could conceivably change. So right now, first one in is Chase Briscoe at 0.
Yeah, Briscoe and Cindric are tied at 0.
Yeah, so but right now, top 8: Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, and Daniel Suarez. So you could conceivably have all of Trackhouse Racing in the round of 8. So I don't think anyone really thought that was going to happen.
No, no.
Kyle Larson, that'll be interesting to see. Plus 18.
Yeah, the Roval's such a wild card race. I mean, even going back to the very first race, with that classic finish between Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex. It's, as a fan, it's really fun to watch. I've always enjoyed watching the Roval. And even the one year where it was just a monsoon down there, that was a really fun race. And then also the year that Chase Elliott crashed and still came back to win.
Yeah.
It's always been a really fun race, but at the same time, it's just like I guess that's just indicative. I guess that's why NASCAR went to the Roval and made it a playoff race, is because like every year I'm just like, well, I have no idea what to expect.
Like, that's what you want. That's what you want.
That's exactly what you want. But like, it's a good way, because like last week for Talladega, it's like I have no idea what to expect.
I'm just gonna.
This week, it's like we have no idea what can happen. So
yeah, I think they've gotten the perfect cutoff races with Bristol, Roval, Martinsville. Even though the doubts around the quality of short track racing with the next gen car, I still think those are the races that you want to be the cutoffs. And like the Roval has typically been a split screen affair the last couple of years.
Right.
So, but going back to Chase Elliott winning Talladega, Chase Elliott had pretty what are for him critical words for NASCAR in general and the safety of the next gen car, because for the majority of his career, Chase Elliott doesn't have opinions on anything.
No.
He doesn't want to be asked about anything. He doesn't want to tell anyone his thoughts on anything. His disposition.
He wants to show up, race, get back on his plane, and go home.
Yeah, his disposition is, I don't have any thoughts about that. That's it. That's it. That's his. He's a very doesn't want to ruffle any feathers, at all. Just wants to keep to himself. And yeah, as you said, just go race. But this weekend at Talladega, he kind of just laid it out there, said he thought the sport had taken a step back with the next gen car, and he doesn't understand how, with all the knowledge that the sport has accrued since 1948, that we're in this position with this next gen car. So, and I get it. If you're him, if you're going to give your opinion on anything, it should be the safety of the sport. Because this is your life. This is your livelihood. This is
right.
Nobody wants to be the first driver killed in NASCAR since 2001. No, certainly. And I think part of Chase Elliott being so tight-lipped, one, I just think that's just a Hendrick driver thing. Driver, I can't think the last time a Hendrick driver was pretty outspoken about stuff. Jimmy Johnson for like the last 2 years.
Yeah, back when he had already won 7 championships. Like what's Rick Hendrick gonna do at that point? But also I think it's just his personality as well. But like he also knows who he is within the sport, and the stature that he has within the sport, not just with fans, but also just the fact of him being a legacy driver and him being a championship driver in his own right as well. So when he does speak out on things like this, I mean, I think he knows what he's doing. He's being a little calculating. I don't mean that in a bad way. I think he knows that if he does speak up about something like this, I think it shows just how serious NASCAR should take it. Yeah. Like you said, like you said with your perfect Chase Elliott impression, I don't have any thoughts on that. So. I'm gonna go as Chase Elliott for Halloween now, and I could go to a Halloween party at my friend's house. Like, hey John, what do you want? What kind of beer do you want? I don't have any thoughts on that. Just wear a Hooters hat, so. But like, if I did do a Chase Elliott costume, I'd have to be like handlebar mustache Chase, but I can't grow a
Top
mustache.
Gun Summer Chase.
Top Gun Summer Chase. I like that. Maybe I should be that. And when people ask me who I am, don't say Chase Elliott, just say I'm Top Gun Summer Chase, and people are just like, "Sure, man, whatever you want to be." Like, I don't have any thoughts on that. I'm sorry.
You're not even in a fake fire suit. You're just like you're.
I'm wearing.
You're in a bomber jacket and aviators. Top Gun Summer Chase.
But wear like a Hooters hat with like aviator like those little what the hell they call those little microphones they have, I don't know, in the cockpit. Anyways, yeah. I don't know. Whatever. But yes, Chase Elliott. But speaking out on safety. Good for him.
Like Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick, they've said that like one point over the last couple of weeks, they've been trying to get the younger generation of drivers to speak up about this. And if anyone's going to listen to anyone, it's going to be Chase. He is the most popular driver in the sport. I want to put asterisks next to that because that's ballot stuffing. There's no other way. It's ballot stuffing, right? Right?
I don't know, man. Every NASCAR race you go to, just Chase Elliott gear everywhere. Elliott gear and Larson gear. I tweeted Sunday after the race. All I did was, here are the tracks where Chase Elliott has multiple wins at. And it's just 4 tracks and it's 2 each. And the tweet just blew up. Just like, why? What? I don't get it. But no, he's the most popular driver in the sport, and his just stubborn refusal to take a stance on anything before this point has been so frustrating, infuriating. Like,
Hey, Chase Elliott, they're turning your home track into a super speedway. Do you have thoughts on that? Nah, I'll show up and race. Okay, all right. I mean, I'm a journalist. I do want a juicy quote, but I just want a substantial quote.
Right, or at least someone to like engage in a conversation.
Yeah, and it's just he doesn't go there like up until this point.
Chase Elliott, what are your thoughts on genocide? I don't got any thoughts on that.
Okay, all right.
It's like just take the low hanging fruit, Chase Elliott. No, but no, you're right. I also, speaking of races where Chase Elliott has multiple wins, one of which is the Roval.
Yeah. Yep.
Just Blaney, Elliott, and Larson. So a lot of new blood wins, no old blood wins at the Roval yet.
Old blood wins.
No veteran drivers won. Although we're Jimmy Johnson screw up away from not being able to say that sentence. But
yeah. At that time, both Johnson and Truex were in their 40s. That would have been an old blood win. And then here comes Ryan Blaney. Banzai!
So, but yeah, as far as like predictions for this race, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. I just hope it's a good race. Last year was kind of a snooze fest, was it not? But that's just because last year Kyle Larson just crushed everything. Like that was just
he had a problem in that race. What was and he came back. What was it?
I forget.
I think he had like a mechanical, maybe a battery problem. I think something like that. So it was kind of like Elliott's first win. He had a issue that said there's no way he's come back from that, and then he's there at the end winning.
Yeah.
The Chase Elliott win is just bizarre because he's nose first into the wall. Like his race is over.
And the nose is like the chassis of like the hood of his car is like visibly crumpled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the aerodynamics of that car is like severely impacted by that crash.
And he came charging up through.
He still won, and then goes right back after he wins. He goes right back to that area in the tire pit there, that tire barrier there in turn one, and does his burnout right there. That was great.
And I don't know how he did it, or maybe like the smoke is still like very thick, and he gets out, stands on the door of his car, is like, "What's up?"
Yeah, and the car like is still in reverse. It's such that whenever they show like NASCAR promo shots, like they almost like 9 times out of 10 that clip's always there because it looks really cool. It looks really cool.
It was like it's so like another just bizarre thing about Chase is up until was it 2017 playoff race at Martinsville where Hamlin dumped him.
Mm-hmm.
That in the moment, yeah, it's horrible for Chase Elliott. But for me, big picture is like, oh, we finally get to see Chase Elliott show that he cares. Like him livid, like livid. Like that gave him points for me. Like with him like being pissed, showing he's angry. It's like, all right, it's there. It is underneath the surface somewhere. The fire is. We finally got to see it.
He's a real person. He's not an android made up by NASCAR in a lab to keep a legacy driver in the sport.
He's a real driver. He's a test driver.
I'm a real boy.
And then last year at Bristol, he gets pissed off with Harvick. I was like, where is this? Like, why can't we get this on a more regular occurring basis?
Well, then I think it was 2021 or maybe it was 2020, that spring race at the spring race at I think it was 2020. It was the spring race. Maybe it was 2021. Either way, it was some race at Bristol that was not dirt. I think it was the last spring race that wasn't dirt, where him and Logano got into it.
Yeah.
But like Logano was the one getting pissed, and like Chase just played it off cool. Like he just like there's that video of them on pit road after the race where like Logano is just glaring at Chase as he's like taking his helmet off, getting ready to go talk to him, and Chase is just like taking his gloves off, taking his hat off, taking his helmet off, putting his hat on, getting a sip of water, and like it's like acting like Joey Logano isn't even there. It's
what's funny is that situation. I think Joey had his glasses on. So,
yeah,
like he's like in dad mode at that point. He's giving out the dad vibes. Like this is,
and he keeps looking at Chase the whole time, and like Chase is just like he's not even there. It's such a good clip.
But no, yeah, I'm going Ross Chastain for the Roval.
That's a good pick. It honestly is.
He had a slump in the summer. I think some of that could just be attributed to he was distracted a lot this summer with all the shenanigans he was part of.
Some of those races felt like he was driving racing while looking at the rearview mirror the whole time. Oh no. Because that was like peak Ross Chastain hate, where he felt like he had like half the garage was just trying to get theirs against him. Although to be honest, at this point, I'm really shocked that like no one's like tried to take him out yet. I'm surprised he made it this far, and like there's a very good chance that he'll be in the top. He'll be in the round of 8. So like
Hamlin said after Gateway that he would get back at him when it mattered most. Well, cutoff race, playoffs.
True, but I mean that's assuming that even Hamlin and Chastain see each other on the track. I mean, what's Denny Hamlin's record at the Roval? I'm gonna look up his stats real quick. I'm genuinely curious. Let's look up Denny Hamlin at the Roval real quick. Scroll. Riveting podcasting. All right, Roval. 5th, 15th, and looks like where's the 2019 Roval? 19th, 15th, and 5th. So take it for what it's worth. And then he came at 12th in the first one. So 12th, 19th, 15th, 5th. So just one top 10.
I don't think like I said earlier, Hamlin said he doesn't want to get in any trouble or blow up.
That's true.
If he's gonna
he's got to be conservative.
Chastain, he's also putting himself at risk in that same situation. So I don't think Hamlin will do it.
No, I don't think he would. Maybe it'd be somebody else, but I genuinely think Chastain gets through this just fine. When I say get through this, I mean no one takes him out, like engine failure or whatever. But I don't think he's going to get messed with here. Not at this one. Now maybe the cutoff for the round of 4, maybe. But no, I think he's fine here. Man, so you think we're going to get 2 playoff drivers getting a win back to back after finally not having a playoff driver win a race?
Yeah, I mean.
You know what? At this point, this late in the season, I'm going to go back to what we did at the early part of the season. I'm going to pick Ryan Blaney till he wins. So, at one point this year, we had what was it? Tyler Reddick till he wins.
Yeah,
I'm picking Blaney till he wins. I'm just going to stick with Blaney on this. So,
all right.
Who does not make it? I mean, Bowman's not going to make it, but still leaves Bell, Byron, and Cindric on the outside looking in, and Cindric's tied with Briscoe. They're both at the cutoff line.
Cindric's too good on road courses. He'll make it somehow.
Okay.
Like I said, it's kind of hard to say because Byron's appeal hearing is Thursday, so then we'll know then what his actual point standing will be going into the race.
Christopher Bell seems like he needs to win. He's 33 points below the cut line.
Yeah.
He needs to win or have someone else at the top have a really bad day and he finishes in the top 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
It seems like he needs a lot to go. I don't mind. So like Bowman's out. I would say Bell is out. Yeah, Byron's an X factor because of the appeals process we don't know about yet. How many points did he get, Doc? 25?
Yeah, 25. Yeah.
So if he gets 25 points back, I mean that puts him like 5th in the standings?
Just about, yeah.
I think it'd put him 7th. It'd put him just above Suarez, and Suarez would then move down to 8. I think that's how that would work. Yeah, it's really tight. Bowen and Bell, obviously. I agree with you on Cindric. I think Cindric's too good of a road course racer. I think Briscoe will fall out.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have Bowman, Bell, Briscoe. Man, and then it's
okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb. All right, Kyle Larson doesn't make it.
Really?
Kyle Larson doesn't make it.
You think he just has a bad day? Because right now he's 18 above the cut line.
Yeah, bad day. Someone out of this group has to have a bad day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although did any of them have a bad...
He won Watkins Glen, but what's he done since then?
That's a good question. Let me look it up. That's a really good question. I feel like he's been fine. Like I don't think he's been terrible. He's just been average. But again, I could be wrong. Let's look it up. Okay. So he won at the Glen, 37 at the Daytona, which whatever. That was a mechanical issue for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was the first car out. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just a mechanical issue. And then 12th at Darlington, 8th at Kansas, 5th at Bristol, 9th at Texas, and then 18th at Talladega. So a steady run there. He had 3 straight top 10s. Finished, obviously won the race last year. Did not run the Roval in 2020 because he was suspended. Finished 13th and then finished 25th. So, man, it's just hard to go against the defending champion, especially when he's the defending champion, specifically at this race.
Yes, I'm going to have Bowman out, Bell out, Briscoe out, Kyle Larson out.
I'm going to go Bowman, Bell. Man, what is there for Byron to appeal? You know?
Yeah, he said, "Oh, we think we got some evidence to support our like." I mean, I think that they might make the stance that the penalty isn't even remotely close to a detriment to if NASCAR had been on its toes or whatever and given out the penalty that they probably should have given in the race. It's nowhere close to what the post-race penalty they gave to him.
So basically, is he trying? I don't know. Is he trying to argue that all 25 points should be put back, or is he asking for like less than 25 points? Just give me like the points I would have gotten if I was like 17th or 18th, if I just would have started back at the end of the.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a valid argument. So I don't know.
And these appeals are heard by like an independent third party, correct?
The National Motorsports Appeals Panel.
And then like that's final. He can't appeal beyond that.
Well, there is a final appeals officer, but that'd have to be done Friday probably.
Right.
So,
I'll just asterisk this and say, knowing what I know now, just where Byron is, I will put Byron out. I'll go Bowman, Bell. Byron.
He's got a good track record at the Roval.
Though. He does.
He's led 80 laps there over the last 3 years. So he's been a front runner. Doesn't have the finish to show it, but he has been a front runner.
If I put Byron in, and I already say that Cindric isn't in, that inclines me to think that Suarez is going to get bumped. And I don't want to say that because he's my homie. But at the same time, you got to be realistic. I will still just say, knowing what I know now, given Byron pending his appeal, I will say Bowman, Bell, Byron, and then Briscoe. But if Byron wins his appeal, I will say Suarez. I'll say Briscoe, Suarez, Bell, Bowman. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
What's Daniel Suarez on the roll? Let's look it up.
Not great, I imagine.
Well, I mean, you got to take into all right. Here he is. His best finish at the Roval is 13th last year. 21st, 34th, 25th, 13th. But granted, one of those years was Gaunt Brothers.
Yeah.
Man, he raced 4 straight years at the Roval, all for different teams, which is insane. Yeah, not particularly great. And like, he's a good road course racer, but like, this isn't a road course. It's a Roval, obviously, John. So yeah,
it's a road course. It's a road course.
Right. But like, it's the only road course they go on that has high bank
with 15 degree banking or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is something you have to consider. I mean, they're not going full speed up on those turns, but still, yeah. So I'll split the baby that way. If Byron wins his appeal, I think he makes it. If he doesn't win the appeal, I think he's out.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So, all right. Time for our weekly segment of the Jeff Gluck Good Race Poll versus Rotten Tomatoes. We need like a musical transition there. I don't know what.
And it has to be like the most like, it has to be music that doesn't like match with the segment at all. Like 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton.
I don't know. Very dramatic. Like footage at 11 music. Dun 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 dun.
Like the Terminator 2 soundtrack. Dun 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 dun. So good. But yes, the Jeff Gluck poll.
Yeah,
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, this week on the Jeff Gluck Good Race Poll, the for Talladega. The race got an 83.3%, which I was kind of surprised about, given that it was pretty decent race. Chase Elliott won, though I could never figure out where the Chase Elliott of it all factors into that poll, whether it adds 5 points or it takes 5 away. But 83.3% for Talladega. So, John, where are we? Are we still tied?
We are still tied at 7 apiece. I've gotten 5 straight. I'm really hanging on here. Also, by the way, if you hear like random like sounds plotting in the background, like it sounds like a herd of giraffes just like barreling through my office, it's my dog. She's got the zoomies, and so she's just kind of running around. Anyways, yes, I went first last time with Garfield, the movie. So it's your week to go first.
All right,
do your
John,
worst.
I am pitting you against the Jeff Good Race Bowl for Talladega, against a movie that came out, just about 12 years ago. That was about a dream within a dream within a dream, wrapped in a mystery. And if you have any comprehension of movies from the last 15 years, you should instantly know what I'm talking about. I'm, of course, talking about Christopher Nolan's 2010 multi-layered psychedelic romp through the human mind.
Psychedelic romp through the human mind.
There's the title for this.
That's what critics called Garfield as well. It's a psychedelic romp through the human mind.
But of course, Talladega Good Race Poll versus Christopher Nolan's Inception.
Oh man, so I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. I probably haven't seen it. Like, I don't know. Inception to me was like Monopoly. Like it's a game that sounds fun, but it has a lot of rules, and it takes forever to play. And after a while, you're like, is this really worth it? After a while, is this really worth it? Like the first time I watched it in theaters, I was like, oh, that was cool. And the second time I saw it, I was like, yeah, it's fine. And like the third time I watched it, I just turned it off. And I haven't seen it since.
Yeah. I watched it for the first time in a very long time. Like I think right in the middle of COVID in 2020. I remember, liking it. Okay, but I remember the hype around it before it was released was pretty big. Like,
yes, this was also, wasn't this his movie between The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises? Oh yeah, so this was like Nolan at like his peak when everyone just loved that dude. I feel like any of his other movies you could have released at the same time and it would have gotten like the same sort of reaction. Yeah. Like it's not my favorite Nolan. The Dark Knight's my favorite Nolan, and I'd probably say Interstellar. I think Nolan's fine. A lot of his movies feel like really detached in a way.
From what?
Like it just feels like instead of a lot of Nolan movies feel like he's not telling you a story, he's showing you a story, if that makes sense. Like Spielberg feels like
he's a magician. He's a magician, or he's what? J.J. Abrams has his mystery box. Christopher Nolan has a mystery box with an English accent. Yes.
But like it feels like Steven Spielberg and James Cameron tell you a story. Christopher Nolan shows you a story, and I feel like it's not necessarily right or wrong. I think it's just personal preference. But a lot of his stuff just feels a little distant in that regard. But like The Dark Knight's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Interstellar. It's really underrated in my opinion. But like
I haven't seen Interstellar since theaters.
I love that movie. I genuinely love that movie. But I haven't seen like Hans Zimmer's score in that movie. Oh my God. It's one of the best scores probably of my lifetime. It's not John Williams. But yeah, Interstellar. Not Interstellar.
I feel over the last few years, Christopher Nolan's like bought into his own hype to a degree.
I didn't like Tenet. I couldn't even tell. I didn't understand it. I was either too smart or too dumb for that movie, and I can't tell.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. I was like, I have no desire to watch this again.
Yeah, like 15 minutes in, I was like, "What's going on?" Like, maybe I'll figure it out. And like at the end, then the movie just ended. I was like, "Nope." Guess I never did.
I liked Dunkirk. I really liked Dunkirk. I liked how that movie played with structure differently. You get different viewpoints of events happening at the same time, but kind of off in the distance to a degree. I need to rewatch it because I did really, really like Dunkirk.
His new one looks interesting. Have you seen the cast for it?
Loaded.
But I am interested in that one. Every time I go to a movie now, they play the trailer for it, and it looks interesting. But yes, Inception. The only thing I remember from Inception.
Well, first off, with what's it called? What's his new movie called?
Oppenheimer.
After years of having Cillian Murphy play a side character or a bit character in his movies, he now gets to be the guy, character in one of his movies. Which I appreciate that. I do like Cillian Murphy. I thought he was a great Scarecrow.
Yes, very good Scarecrow. Very good Scarecrow.
And he was in Inception as the guy who they were incepting.
It sounds like he got like a crime committed against him.
Yeah, well,
Danny McFadden, you stand charged with third-degree incepting. How do you plead?
Is this like a Minority Report situation?
The only thing I remember, like for me, the legacy of Inception is the score, because it's
a great score. It is a great score. I can't think of a bad Hans Zimmer score. Is there a bad Hans Zimmer score?
I don't know if there's a bad one.
Hans Zimmer did the score for Days of Thunder, so
well, that gets a lifetime pass.
Yes.
The Interstellar, like his score for Interstellar does so much of the heavy lifting in that movie. Because there's so much blank space, because the whole movie takes place in space, so there's so much just blank canvas on the screen at times, and the music just really fills it up really well. Anyway, Inception. This came out, like I said, like peak. I have to be 83. This came out like peak, like hype for Christopher Nolan, where that dude could do no wrong. Plus, it's got Leo in it, Joseph Gordon-Levitt back when he was still like a big star.
Elliot Page.
Yes, Tom Hardy just before he was starting to take off. It's got a bunch of people in it. It's one of those movies where you look back and go, "Oh wow." Yeah, Michael Caine's in it too, isn't he?
Wait, who?
Michael Caine's in it too, isn't he?
Well, he's in all of them. He's in all. He's in all of the Nolan movies. So.
I'm gonna go higher.
All right, you are correct. Inception had an 87% Rotten Tomato score.
Yeah,
and
man,
the audience and the critic and audience score were pretty close. The audience score was 91%. So
I remember when that movie came out, like it was like number 5 on IMDb's fan list of like the best movies of all time. It's like, y'all are drunk.
The same thing happened to Dark Knight when it came out. Is that they did the opposite of review bombing and made it like before it even came out. I think it was like.
But the Dark Knight's good though.
Like
you and I have our disagreements on that.
I listened to a podcast about it on my way back from Little Rock, where I was looking for apartments, and just listening to a podcast about it. One of the co-hosts said every time I get like a few like months away from having viewed it, I make myself think, that movie's probably overrated, and then I sit down and watch. I'm like, no. This movie is incredible.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like that. I could sit down and watch Dark Knight, like, great movie, freaking awesome. And then like a month later, I'll think about Dark Knight. You know what? That's not that great. It's aged probably a little bit poorly.
Yeah. And then just watch the bank heist scene. Like, no,
just watch the
watch the first 6 minutes. Like, nah, this movie.
I want to watch it in theaters again. Because I saw it I saw it 3 times opening weekend, twice in one day, and then I saw it again on IMAX a little while after that.
I've seen The Dark Knight in theaters more times than any other movie I've seen, and I think I'm up to 15 now. Every now and then, once in a blue moon, our state museum downtown here in Indy, they have the biggest screen in the state. It's massive. It's an IMAX screen, and every now and then they'll play it. And I'm always there. It's like, take my money. Take it. Yes, incredible movie. As for me,
I like this. I like we can make this segment of the podcast. It's like little like pop culture corner. Like,
yes.
So we can have some tangents and stuff.
So as you said earlier, the Roval will be the first race that you can remember that has had 3 drivers out for injury, 3 full-time drivers, and you've got 2 playoff drivers who are out. There's been so much discourse and discussions about what NASCAR needs to do about, the safety of the sport, the safety of the
Can
drivers.
I guess the movie? I want to take a guess at the movie.
Yeah, what's the movie?
Will Smith's concussion.
No.
Okay.
No. Good guess though. I should have done it. No. But it takes a little. It feels like it takes a little extra oomph, a little extra gusto to, put yourself in a NASCAR cockpit these days. Almost a little bit of bravery. Dare I say, a NASCAR driver needs to be brave, just like the 2012 Pixar film, Brave,
which I haven't even seen.
You're not missing much. It's one of my 5 least favorite Pixar movies.
That was the first. I think we talked about this. That was the first like Pixar movie, I think, where I was like, I'm good. Like, like that. It was around that point. I was like, I'm fine. I don't need to see that one. So yeah. Oh, I just remember every time I'd go to the theater for like months, that trailer get played. I got tired of the trailer. That was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to stop it with this.
The first trailer was really good. The first trailer, like just the teaser, it makes it look like it's going to be this big, like epic, like, Pixar fairy tale. It looks really cool. And like most of the teaser trailer, there's like snow on the ground. Like it takes place during winter time. And it looks like it's got like this like bitter edge to it. But for what I guess what happened was Disney came in and made them change that, because they were the year after Brave came out, Frozen was coming out. And Disney didn't want 2 straight movies taking place in the snow. So if you watch the teaser trailer, it looks like that's the vibe. And then every other trailer, there's no snow. the movie takes place in the springtime or the summertime. And like I said, in the first trailer, even in the other trailers, you get the sense that like it's going to be this big quest film, and then like the whole movie just takes place in the castle. By and large, like this movie literally goes nowhere. Like this movie has 2 settings. It has the castle, and it has like the grounds around the castle, which I guess is still the castle. And then she goes into like the woods like once to meet like a witch. Like this movie is really stagnant. It's really underwhelming. Okay. It's not one of my favorite Pixar films. It's probably my second least favorite Pixar movie after Cars 2. So
speaking of Frozen, I've never seen it. Never watched it. Don't want to watch it. But I know the song from that movie, Let It Go, became like every child's favorite song, because
and Soccer Mom.
It became a meme of people like complaining, like, I can't escape that song. I somehow went almost a decade without hearing that song. Like,
lucky.
Like I consider it like I wore that with badges of honor. It's like, I've made it this far without hearing "Let It Go." Let's see how long I can do it. I can't remember when or where I heard it, but I think I was watching some TV show or a movie, and the characters in it start singing it, and I don't realize what I'm hearing because I've never heard it. And then at some point, I realized what it was. I was like, "Damn it."
Well, like, yeah, that movie was just like Soccer Mom fodder. Like this, like I remember the soundtrack for the first Frozen film was on like the Billboard charts for like 2 or 3 years, and like for a good chunk of that, it was like in the top 50. It spent a lot of time in the top 10. Like that song was so ubiquitous. Like on its face, it's a good song. It's like a lot of Disney anthems. It does a good job of like encapsulating what that main character wants for the whole film. But it was just played to death.
What's your favorite Disney movie song?
Disney movie song?
Yeah, song that was made for a Disney movie.
Oh man.
Pop song. So
that's really tough. That's really, really hard. Can I give you like a short list?
I'll give you 2. I'll give you 2.
All right. It's either Under the Sea.
Okay. All right.
Under the Sea, or probably A Whole New World.
Okay.
Probably those 2. There's so many other good ones too, like Beauty and the Beast, Circle of Life. I mean, gosh, just like golden era Disney, like Renaissance era Disney, late 80s, early 90s, just couldn't miss. But like those two probably are the ones I would pick. What's yours?
You Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story.
Yeah, but like that, I'm talking like actually like a song that's like used in the movie, like for like that a character sings, like furthers the song. Like you got a friend.
The character has to sing it.
That's what I thought you were referring to.
Oh no, I'm just saying just a song that was just made and used in the movie. It didn't have to be a character.
Oh well, then
I
would go if You've Got a Friend in Me. Yeah, for sure. But like I thought you meant like a character in the movie like sings the song.
No.
Okay.
Like, no.
Then okay.
It's for me. It's either You Got a Friend in Me or Zero to Hero for Hercules.
I'm just glad you didn't pick. I'm so sick, Daniel. I'm so sick of all this revisionist history about Tarzan and Phil Collins. I'm so sick of it.
What do you mean? What do you mean revisionist history?
Like people like I think it's just because I'm not like I was like 11 years old or 10 years old when that movie came out, and like maybe that's just because that's not my era of Disney. Maybe it's just
children gather around the fire.
Maybe it's just a younger generation of Disney fan.
The year was 1999.
Maybe it's just a younger generation of Disney fans, but like the Tarzan film is fine. It's fine, but like Phil Collins forever has and forever will suck. But he just does. Okay. He's not good. He is not good at all. There's just a level of cheesiness to his all of his songs sound like elevator music to me, or like songs you hear at like the dentist office waiting room. I don't. Okay. There's not a single time where I've heard a Genesis song that Phil Collins sang on, or any Phil Collins solo song that I've heard where I'm like, man, I want to hear that again. Like I'm sorry, the Tarzan soundtrack's not good. In the Air Tonight is not good. You just saw The Hangover once and thought the Mike Tyson bit was funny.
That's what I was about to say. It's like no one cared about in the Air Tonight, and until that bit in that movie, and I was like,
and it's just I cannot stand Phil Collins. I much prefer Peter Gabriel, who was also in Genesis. He was the singer of Genesis before he left the band, and they replaced him with Phil Collins, who was the drummer still at the time. But no, I'm so sick of the revisionist history about that. I'm so glad if you would have said the Phil Collins soundtrack from Tarzan, my fist would have gone through this webcam and out your webcam and into your face.
All right.
That's what would have happened.
I haven't watched Tarzan.
Sorry to go on that tangent.
I have not watched Tarzan since 99 or 2000.
Daniel, he got to sing that song at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh wow.
It was Titans Rams, like February of 2000.
Oh yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
And I think the halftime theme that year was like tribute to Disney, and like since that was like the newest Disney movie that came out,
and
of course he gets to do it.
And the Super Bowl was on ABC that year.
Yeah, Super Bowl's on ABC. So yeah, but like he came out and did a bunch of Tarzan songs. I'm like, God, this sucks. Like even as a kid, I was like, this is so. I was like, is football lame now? It's like that's just like the vortex that Phil Collins suck. Like anything that he touches, I'm just like, is this really that good? Anyways, and he won an Oscar that year. He won an Oscar for best original song.
Wow!
And he beat out Blame Canada from South Park, the South Park movie. And so, have you ever seen the episode of South Park that makes fun of Phil Collins? They did that because he beat them at the Oscars. And so he's always every time you see Phil Collins in the episode of South Park, he's holding an Oscar trophy, and it's the Oscar that he beat South Park over. It's really, really good. It's like one of the first like 4 or 5 seasons. Check it out if you can. It's really good. And like they give him like this really like harsh like Cockney accent. Oh, Phil Collins. I'm sorry. Anyways, I've gone too long on this Phil Collins tangent. Brave, higher or lower than 83%?
Lower.
Correct. You remain tied. It's a 79%.
Like I mean, if that was the first Pixar movie where I was like, no, thank you, that has to be like their first dud. Though I wonder what is Bug's Life's Rotten Tomatoes score?
It's pretty good, I think. It's like a 89.
Okay, all right.
Bug's Life
doesn't get enough love.
Bug's Life's a 92.
It's kind of like that weird. Pixar was still in that weird phase of, oh, okay, we've done some Toy Story movies. Now what?
Well, Bugs Life was like the first movie after Toy Story, so it's sandwiched right between Toy Story. It's sandwiched right between Toy Story 1 and 2, which is a big reason why it gets.
So it's that middle child thing.
Yeah.
So,
yep. Brave actually won Best Animated Feature.
But what was the competition?
Let me pull it up. Here we go. Animated feature. Oh, come on. Here we go. Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. 2013. It came out in for 2012. I'm sorry. For 2012. It was Brave, Frankenweenie, Paranorman.
Paranorman was good.
Pirates, Band of Misfits.
Yeah.
Or Wreck-It Ralph. They had 3 stop-motion animated films nominated that year. Wow. Brave, Frankenweenie, Paranorman, Pirates, and Wreck-It Ralph. I would have gone
Paranorman.
I'd go Wreck-It Ralph, but Paranorman's still good. I like Paranorman. I have the soundtrack on.
I think I remember seeing that. I think I remember seeing that.
It's very good. I got no qualms with Paranorman. Frankenweenie's weird.
Never saw that.
It's good. It's just different. It's probably the best Tim Burton movie he's made since Big Fish, which doesn't mean much because he hasn't made really that many good movies since Big Fish. Yeah, I would go Wreck-It Ralph over that. But yeah, Paranorman is fine too. But yeah, Brave won, which crazy.
That was at the point where they were just rubber stamping it for Pixar.
Yes. Pixar did not win Best Animated Feature again until Inside Out.
That's a good movie, and they're making a sequel. So
yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
I'm still way behind on my Pixar movies.
I'm dubious. I've seen them all. I see them
they're right there next to.
Oh, you mean my Blu-ray collection? Yeah, because everything is streaming now. For the listeners, since everything is streaming now, I don't have a lot of Blu-rays, like physical things, but I have a few, and most of them are just Pixar films.
And they're sitting right next to Zodiac.
Yeah, Zodiac and The Exorcist. It's called balance.
I'm one of those people that judges people by their DVD collections. Yours is just it's
either hard.
It's unjudgeable. It's like I don't even know what to do.
It's like heartwarming children's films and then unspeakable horror films. It's like I said, it's all about balance. Yeah. Have you seen Turning Red yet?
No, like I said, I'm behind.
It's great.
So
it's great. Watch it as soon as you can. What was the last Pixar movie you saw?
Lightyear.
Yeah, Lightyear's fine. See Turning Red.
Turning Red, and the one before that. Soul.
Luca.
Okay, the one before that.
Soul.
Okay. I need to see that one.
Luca's whatever. Turning Red is really, really good. You should see. Do you have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
You have no excuse.
I'm a Star Wars fan, John. What?
Yeah, it's true. So you have no excuse. No, it's for me. It's like top 10 Pixar. Turning Red, really, really good. It feels like a Pixar movie, but it also does some things that like a lot of other Pixar films haven't, especially in terms of like animation. Like it really sort of leans into like a lot of like anime style because the main character, I believe, is Chinese, so it definitely goes into that sort of culture of animation. It's really fun. Really,
does that movie like take place in like the 90s or something?
Takes place in Toronto in 2002.
Why that specific? What is there a?
Because it's the director is a woman of, I believe, Chinese descent.
Okay.
She grew up in Toronto, so she just wanted to tell a story set around that key part of her life. And like there was like a big like TikTok series where it was like people were like someone on TikTok criticized Turning Red for not like talking about 9/11 because they were like, this movie takes place in 2002, just like less than a year after 9/11, and no one talks about it. It's like, shut up.
Well, the Spider-Man movie came out in 2002, and
I know it takes place in New York, and they don't mention it.
So
yeah. Anyways, yes, that was fun. But yes, watch Turning Red if you can. Skip Brave, not that good.
Yeah, I have no intent to watch it. So, but yeah, all right.
If you do watch it, play a drinking game and drink anytime someone says the word fate.
I remember that in the trailer.
It's good to change my feet. That's all anyone says in that movie.
Yeah, I remember that in the trailer. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one time I watched B movie and I drank every time someone said the word B, and I got like 3 beers in. I was like, I can't.
B movie. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Jerry Seinfeld plays a B.
Yeah.
I try to play the game where you drink every time they play B, and I got three beers in.
I've never watched it, but in hindsight, knowing like the cultural clout that Jerry Seinfeld had,
dude, that movie's so weird.
That was the movie he made.
Last tangent. It's not even a tangent. That movie, the B movie, I kid you not, and if you watch it, you'll agree with me on this. It's an allegory for the plight of the Jewish people.
Anyway,
I'm serious. Don't even watch the movie. Just read the synopsis, and you'll be like, maybe. Like, I think it's an allegory for the plight of Jewish people, like the history of of their suffering throughout ancient times and stuff. Watch it. I kid you not.
I'm in a movie right now. I've only watched one new movie to me in like the last month, and it was Dodgeball. So,
that is not about the plight of the Jewish people.
It's about dodgeball.
I just Googled the B movie is about Jewish people, and there's all kinds of things that verify this. So yeah. Yep. The very first thing, the Jews and the B movie. Yeah. And there's a whole subreddit about the B movie being a giant Jewish joke. Yeah. The whole thing. Okay. Yeah. The whole thing. Anyways, are there any Jewish NASCAR drivers?
Not to my knowledge. Look. Anyway.
Not that it matters. I'm just genuinely curious.
No, not that I know of. But all right, we're gonna end it there. So this has been Dropping the Hammer with Dale McFadden. I'm Dale McFadden. The podcast might go dark for a few weeks as I make the transition to the next chapter of my life with my new job and moving and all that stuff. So I'm not sure when we'll be doing another episode. So until the meantime, I'm Dale McFadden. With me, John Law. I
told you how to say it at the very beginning. Yep. It rhymes with wallet. It's fine. I don't care. I did look up. There has been one Jewish driver. His name's Alon Day, and
Alon Day. He's from Israel.
Yeah, Alon Day is from Israel, and he raced at Mid Ohio.
Oh, but he was one of the best like NASCAR Euro drivers.
Yes,
for a while. So
yep. So there's representation's cool.
Yes, it is. I agree. So anyway, I'm Dale McFadden. John LaFall. Oh God. Anyway, say bye, John.
Bye, John.
Anyway, enjoy the Roval and any other races we might miss over the next few weeks. So hopefully we'll be back for the end of the year. So anyway, have a great weekend, folks. Bye.